podcast. So, it's in the Follow God's Word series, or anthology. We are going to go to the Berenstain Bears Go to Sunday School. All right. By Jan and Mike Berenstain. Sunday morning was a busy time in the big tree house down a sunny dirt road deep in bear country. The Bear family had things to do and places to go. Brother had soccer practice at 10:30, and sister had a ballet lesson at 11. Usually Mama dropped them off before taking Honey Bear along to do some grocery shopping. Papa stayed home to get his picks-up chores done early so he could watch football in the afternoon. But it hadn't always been that way for the Bear family. A few years back, before they'd gotten involved with so many activities, the Bear family had gone every Sunday morning to services at the chapel in the woods. Of course, that meant brother and sister went to Sunday school. Mama Bear missed those days. It seemed to her that the family was a lot closer back then. Going to the chapel in the woods was kind of like glue that held the whole family together. Mama decided it was time for a little family conference. They all gathered in the living room one Saturday night, and she told them what was on her mind. Glue? Said sister, puzzled. You mean like...
Glue? What's glue?
It's sticky stuff. Oh, your mouth is empty. Then you glued that lamp back together after we broke it? That's a very good example, said Papa. The lamp gave us light. We glued it back together so we wouldn't be left in the dark. Worshipping God gives us light and warmth, and our family needs a little glue from time to time. Sister and brother thought that one over. It made sense, sort of. Besides, said Mama, I believe that going to church together is more important than other Sunday activities combined. Hey, you get back here. More important than soccer? Said brother. Or ballet? Said sister. Yes, Mama said. But don't get too excited. We'll go to the early service at 8:30. That way you'll have plenty of time to get your soccer and ballet. 8:30 in the morning? Cried brother and sister, even more upset. That means we have to get up at 7 o'clock. On the weekend. Yeah, now, said Papa. He prided himself in getting up early. Early to bed and first to get up makes a bear healthy, wealthy, and, how does that go? Sleepy, said brother. At breakfast the next morning, the Bear family did seem sleepy indeed. At least brother and sister did. They could hardly keep their eyes open. Papa wasn't exactly all there either. He was almost invisible behind his Sunday paper. Coffee, dear? Asked Mama, lifting the coffee pot. Grunted Papa, holding his cup out without looking up. Ahem, said Mama. Huh? What? Asked Papa. Looking up. Oh, sorry, my dear, he said, folding the paper. I guess I'm not really awake until I've had the morning coffee. After breakfast, Mama put on her best Sunday hat. They climbed down the front steps, and Papa put Honey Bear in her stroller. The whole family headed down the woods to the chapel. In the woods. Other families joined them as they walked along. There were their neighbors, Farmer and Mrs. Ben. They saw Uncle Willie, Aunt Min, and Cousin Fred from down the street. They even ran into Too Tall Grizzly being hauled along by his parents, Two-Ton and Two-Two Grizzly. The chapel in the woods was nestled in a pretty little glen down by the creek. On this fresh spring morning, the dogwoods were in bloom. Papa began to hum a tune. Then he started to sing, Come by the church in the wildwood. Oh, come to the church in the vale. Mama joined in. No spot is so dear to my childhood. And they finished together, That's a little brown church in the vale. What weird song is that? Asked sister. Oh, it's just something we used to sing in church together when we were children, sighed Mama. That was a long time ago. Did you know each other way back then? Asked brother. Know each other? Laughed Papa. Why, I was sweet on your mother when we were only 8 years old. He was the cutest cub in the whole Sunday school.
What's that?
That's Papa Bear putting a frog in Mama Bear's jacket. Once I brought a frog to class. I was going to let it loose during the story of the plagues of Egypt, but I decided it'd be funnier to slip it down Mama's back. It was too. Sister and brother's eyes widened, imagining the scene. Wow, they breathed softly. Now, dear, said Mama, let's not give the children any bright ideas. They dropped Honey Bear off at the church nursery and filled quietly.
Mommy's jacket.
That's right. And filed quietly into the chapel. Hey, your mouth is empty. There was soft music playing on the organ as they found a pew. Then Preacher Brown climbed into the pulpit and the service began. Welcome, friends, said the preacher. Let us join together in worship. Let us give thanks for this day the Lord has made. Aye, they all rose to sing a hymn. Come to the church by the wildwood, sang the whole congregation. Oh, come to the church in the vale. Well, how about that? Whispered brother to sister. They're singing the same old song. After the hymn and the prayer, a little more organ music, and some bell ringing, it was time for Sunday school. Brother and sister joined the other cubs as they trooped out of the chapel under the watchful eye of Preacher Brown. Old Mrs. Ursula Berenstain was the Sunday school teacher. Brother and sister wondered just how old she was. She looked old enough to have been Mama and Papa's Sunday school teacher. Good morning, children, she said with a big smile. Today we're going to learn the story of Noah's Ark. She looked at them brightly. Do any of you young ones know the story of Noah's Ark? Cousin Fred, who read the dictionary for fun, raised his hand. Excellent, Fred, said Mrs. Ursula. Why don't you tell us the story? So, Cousin Fred told the story of Noah's Ark. Long ago, God saw the people of the earth had been wicked, and Noah was just a man. He walked with God, so God told Noah to build a boat, a great big boat, an ark. God was going to bring a terrible flood upon all the earth, and God told Noah to bring 2 of every sort of creature, male and female, into the ark. So Noah built the ark and gathered the animals and went into it with his family. Brother Bear interrupted. Do you think they brought frogs into the ark? Asked Ursula. He asked Mrs. Ursula. Mrs. Ursula laughed. Why, I'm sure that Noah brought frogs into the ark, Brother Bear, she said, her eyes twinkling. But if you think that you're going to bring a frog into this classroom the way your father did, young man, you've got another thing coming. Brother's mouth dropped open wide. Mrs. Ursula really was old enough to have been Mama and Papa's Sunday school teacher. Cousin Fred went on with the story. Then it began to rain. It rained for 40 days and 40 nights, and all the earth was covered with the flood, and all the living things, except for those on the ark, died. After many months, Noah sent forth a dove. The dove came back carrying an olive leaf. Noah knew that the flood had passed. He let all the animals go. Then God set a rainbow in the sky and promised Noah that he would never cover all the earth with the waters of a flood again. The cubs all sighed. They were thinking back to the big thunderstorm they had last year when the river went up over the banks and washed out the bridge. There had been a beautiful rainbow after that storm too. That's a dove.
He got to catch the bird.
That's right. All right, cubs, said Miss Ursula. Let's see if you can all draw pictures of the story of Noah's Ark. There are crayons and papers on the tables, so the cubs set busily to work. Sister drew a beautiful picture of the ark resting on a mountaintop. Brother drew a dramatic scene of rain pouring down with bolts of lightning and the ark tossing on the waves. Too Tall drew a picture of all the animals sticking out their heads of the ark, going pew. Now, Too Tall, said Mrs. Ursula, I don't think that's very appropriate, but Sister just noticed her smiling the same when she thought none of the cubs were looking. Then, Sunday school was over. Goodbye, cubs, called Mrs. Ursula. See you all next Sunday. The cubs ran outside, shouting and jumping after sitting for so long. The grown-ups were coming out of the chapel. Preacher Brown was shaking hands with everyone, and folks were laughing and talking together. There, said Mama as they headed for home. That wasn't too bad, was it? No, said Sister. In fact, it was kind of interesting. Yeah, said Brother, running on ahead. And now, soccer. And ballet, added Sister. And football, said Papa. Mama rolled her eyes. Sister began to hum, and then sang softly. Come to the church in the wildwood, come to the church in the vale. Papa began to sing along, in rhythm. Oh, come, 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 come. Everyone joined in. No spot is so dear to my childhood as the little brown church in the vale. Yay, shouted Honey, wanting to join in too. And they all gave her a nice, big round of applause. The
And
Oh, that's right. Thank you for reading a story with me.